Let's get on with the details now. This afternoon, the campaign to get justice for Latif Idris, the JoyNews journalist who was brutalized by police officers, is gathering a lot more momentum, with more calls for the arrest of the perpetrators. Clinical tests have shown Latif has been left with a fracture in his skull and currently undergoing further tests. He was assaulted by a group of police officers stationed at the CID headquarters nearly 2 weeks ago as a large crowd stormed there during the arrest of Deputy NDC General Secretary Koku Anyidoho over some treasonable comments that he's reported to have made. Latif has been speaking to JoyNews about his current state of health.
I still have severe pains in my head, and I've run about 4 different x-rays. The last doctor I met asked that I run CT scan of my skull, which I did, and the result came out on Friday. It has shown that I have fracture in my skull, and so I've been referred yet again to meet a neurosurgeon at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
You heard Latif there. Well, that update on his condition has sparked anger among journalists who have joined the push to get the perpetrators punished. Here are some of them.
Assault on journalists is something that we've generally spoken up against because there have been several instances where journalists are assaulted. We make noise about it and nothing happens. I think that the GJA Media Foundation for West Africa and all the key institutions that fight for the welfare of journalists should take it a notch higher. Perhaps collaborate with the Ghana Police Service, assist them investigate in a specific reference to Latif's case. It was a police officer who assaulted him. But I think that GJA or the West African Media Foundation and all other key stakeholders when it comes to the welfare of journalists should come together and try and put together a committee of a sort that will assist the police in investigating what happened to Latif.
You see, we all have our jobs that we are supposed to do. Someone's job is to produce food. Someone's job is to drive a vehicle. Someone's job is to protect the country. Our job is to tell the story of ordinary people. Now, if in the course of doing this job, I am assaulted, that is offensive not only to my person, but to the Constitution of the Republic, which guarantees the freedom of my job. Our job is guaranteed in a whole article in the 1992 Constitution. Now, my expectation is that we should be doing this job unhindered. Why would someone attack us? Now, I think it is because over the period, policemen and soldiers and all these guys in the security industry or services, they take these things, they do these things, and they go scot-free. No one really holds them responsible because, after all, it's just an ordinary journalist with a reporter who cares. I think we should act now or forever continue to receive slaps.
Having been a victim of assault by state security and party-sponsored hoodlums on my own person in the course of my work as a journalist, I feel it when one journalist, even a single journalist, is touched by the police. And what happened to Latif at the police headquarters 2 weeks ago, is unacceptable and must be condemned in all, in all measures. It must be condemned. Ghana Police Service, you have offended the media fraternity in Ghana with that assault on Latif. If one policeman was touched somewhere, the way they deploy their personnel to go in and find out the perpetrators, they should do the same thing to find out those policemen who touched Latif, who broke his head. They should find them out and punish them.
Those are some journalists there with your thoughts on what has happened. Well, today, the multimedia group, the parent company of the JoyNews channel where Latif Idris works, have sent a strong message to the IGP. We'll hear from the Chief Human Resources Officer and the Managing Editor of JoyNews, Elvis Kwashi. But today, a team of top police officers visited our offices, reassuring they will get to the bottom of the matter. Director General of Police Public Affairs, ACP David Eklu, and Director General of Operations, DCOP Simon Afeku, led the delegation dispatched by the IGP.
Touch base with you, find out how he's doing, and see what support we can give until the final determination of the investigations. And he's here to also express the IG's concern about the incident and see what can be done. Even though we have not concluded investigations, we are all human, and we need to at least obtain first-hand information from him if it's available, and see his condition and see the way forward. So basically, that is our mission here this morning. He has given a statement to the police at cantonment. I don't know what he stated there, but we would be able to find out whether those have been identified.
We know that when the incident happened, there are some cameras there. Are they functioning? Are they cameras that we can rely on? We
deployed even our camera from Public Affairs, and we have some visuals. But at the time that the incident happened, I'm not too sure whether they captured it. But the case is still under investigations, and a lot of some of these questions I know have been answered have been sought for by the investigators. So let us wait and have a little patience till we get to the bottom of this issue.
Since you are investigating yourself in this matter,
this is not the first time we have investigated cases. Police officers are facing prosecution for a lot of criminal cases. And I don't think that it will be in our interest to push this case under the carpet. We have had the best of relations with the media. Media have given us a lot of support in our operations, and we would not want this case to tarnish that good relations that we have. So we are all interested in finding out what happened, because he was not the only journalist who covered the event. There were others who covered it even live, and nothing happened. So this one, we still want to find out what went wrong.
Circumstances are right, and it's unfortunate that somebody should die or somebody should get injured out of any situation. That's what we should all avoid. We have continued to impress upon the public, various stakeholders, to support us in doing our work. We cannot do without stakeholders like you. You are very strategic partners in the performance of our duties. That is providing security or maintaining law and order. No, we cannot go without you. Neither is the general public. So we have continued to ask for that support, particularly the support where we will all be very lawful. Those of us enforcing the law, those of you on whom maybe the law is being enforced, that we should all be lawful in whatever activities or whatever steps that we take. In that case, we can meet at the common point, which we call peace, or a secured environment for all of us to continue carrying out our lawful activities. That assurance is there, that at the end of whatever work or findings that we will come out with, the police administration will not renege. If anybody is found culpable of performing unprofessionally or criminally, no, be dealt with accordingly. So that assurance must be there. For any action or inaction, we look at it from two directions, either the criminal sanction or criminal investigation, and then we have the administrative investigation, which is being done by PIPS, to find out if maybe somebody was negligent, was unprofessional, etc. So that is why PIPS is also carrying out the Cantonment police station. They are looking at the criminal dimension, and then the PIPS is looking at the administrative dimension. So once we are the police administration, we are for all.
Are you giving yourselves any timelines?
As soon as practicable, that is what. extremely impressive.
We are all interested in getting this matter resolved to know what happened as quickly as possible.
So those are the police officers in our newsroom earlier today. Well, the assurances they're given, according to JoyNews, will not put the matter to sleep. Here is Managing Editor Elvis Kwashi.
We appreciate the IG's interest in this case. We work very closely with the police. The work we do, we are also police people. Okay. We speak for the people. And so our work, we work in tandem with the police. And Latif in particular has been working with the police. I'm sure his latest documentary, we saw him in a military gear, okay, embedded with the military. It's a bit surprising that it happened. But we trust that the proper thing will be done. We will push you. We will push you to investigate this. And we will keep you on your toes. I can promise you that. And make sure that those who did this are found. I think it's in our interest, the police, we in the media, and the public interest, that we find those people. I believe the police is a very noble institution. They are very nice men and women in the police service. But also, there are bad nuts who must be spoken out.
Elvis Kwashi is the Managing News Editor here at JoyNews. Well, Chief Human Resource Officer for the Multimedia Group, Samuel Nanambro Elegba, has also been speaking about the support being given to Latif as he undergoes treatment.
We were taken aback, honestly, because we all heard the reports about what happened to Latif. We didn't think it was that serious. Yes, we made sure that he quickly went to the hospital to run tests, to see the doctor to make sure that he was fine. A series of tests were run, and just last Friday, when the reports came out, all the final reports, it was realized that the extent of injury was worse, much worse than was initially assumed, to the extent that Latif has now been referred to see a specialist at Kolebu. I believe that he'll be doing that sometime today. And so we are all sad at what has happened, and we are wishing Latif speedy recovery. In the aftermath of the assault, a formal complaint was lodged with the cantonment police. They've promised investigations into the matter. As at now, we've not heard anything from them, but we are hoping that they'll, speed up investigations as promised. We also thought of reporting the matter to the PIPS division of the Ghana Police, but before we could take the matter up with them, they decided to pay us a visit. When they heard about what had happened in the media, they came over to our offices on Friday. Was it Friday? Last week, and spoke to the cameraman who was also assaulted along with Latif. And so the matter is in the hands of PIP now. Let's see what they'll do. We are calling on the police to speed up investigations into the matter. It's been over a week, or is it even 2 weeks? And so far, nothing has been heard on the matter by way of investigations. So we are calling on the Ghana Police. Please speed up your investigations. We are calling on the state to do everything in its power to bring the perpetrators of this brutal assault to book. And we are also calling on all Ghanaians to stop brutalizing journalists who are only doing their legitimate work, because I'm sure, and I cannot readily recall all the cases on top of my head. We've heard of assaults on journalists by land guards, by all kinds of people in the course of their work, and that is totally unacceptable. We have rallied around to ensure that his welfare is taken care of, and so we've organized some what I would call groceries for him. We've made sure at every turn and point that if there's any stumbling block by way of the medical care that he's been seeking. We try and expedite things. For example, the specialist surgeon, he was initially scheduled to see a specialist surgeon on 22nd April, but we thought that was too far, judging by the reports that we received. So we've been able to expedite that meeting. That has been brought forward to today, 9th April. So we are very much interested in the welfare of Latif.
And so are we all. So the hashtag is Justice for Latif, and you might want to join in that hashtag as we look for the perpetrators of that brutality. So will the attacks against media personnel end at some point? Yes, it will, but time is not on our side, actually. The Ghana Journalists Association says they'll adopt fresh approach to push for justice for Latif and other journalists who have faced brutality in the line of duty.
Issued a statement to condemn what happened. This is just the first step. We have a meeting with the IGP and his top hierarchy. That's on Wednesday. We've learned that an investigation has begun into Latif's issue. Ghana has a litany of examples where investigations are conducted. But what is so conspicuous with their absence is action to implement the findings of investigations. This will be a different ball game altogether, because our action or series of actions we are going to take are predicated on the principle that once you attack one single journalist, then you attack all of us. And once you attack all of us, then you attack our democracy. And once you attack our democracy, then you attack the very soul of this nation. So as we speak, the soul of this nation is bleeding profusely over the attack against a single journalist. And the only way to stanch the blood flow, as I said, all of us are bleeding profusely from the attack inflicted on Latif. Our meeting, after meeting the IGP, we shall unfold our next line of action. We are not lying low. We will not sit down unconcerned for this to happen. In the past, we were accused of just issuing statements and going to sleep. This will not happen. We have other option of putting together a team of lawyers who rally to our defense in such instances. We should also unfold that option. As we have plan A up to plan Z, and depending on what the IGP will tell us, we shall activate the appropriate plan in response to what has happened to Latif.
Alpha Money is the president of the GJA. So let's get on social media and find out what some of you have been saying. We put this post there reminding you the hashtag Justice for Latif. And we say in this age and time, of course, journalists continue to suffer brutality. Justice is all we're asking for. And I have a picture there of Latif Idrisu. So let's say some of the comments that some of you are sharing, and we'll move on with some other stories now. Lambone James says, why justice for Latif only? How about the innocent people that were also brutalized because they don't have media power? Well, Lambone, this is exactly what we do. We always speak for the people who are brutalized all the time, except this time around, it is one of our own. And what we do for others, we're doing for our own. I hope that answers your question. Romeo AJ says, justice from who? Much as the police didn't do well, your reporter also faulted. Do you know that for sure? Well, we don't know. The investigations are ongoing. But we do know our job as journalists. We don't step on the foot of the police. Why didn't he hide or run away from the scene, but rather confronting it, you add? He forgot to know that if he dies, he will be replaced. He should let, okay, I don't, oh, okay, you're asking that he should learn some lessons from someone. I think those are very different issues there, but let's move on. Citizen Ati said, how can you be only asking for justice for Latif? And I see that this is a very trending comment about whether the justice is just for Latif. And I think that we all should be fair to journalists. Latif is, we're having to talk about Latif because it's happened now. But when it's happened about other people, we have spoken about it as well. You know, you do know that. Edward Morkley says, anytime NPP assumes power, all we experience is bloodshed. It's because they went through, okay, well, We can read that. Dabangu Immortal says journalists should be trained to defend themselves when they are in situations like this. There must also be a law to protect them from such brutality as it is in the Whistleblowers Act. Well, Homeku William also says most of the media houses in Ghana here need to train their journalists very well. Listening to our radio stations, you will never figure out any good thing from them than speaking for a political party about the police. Okay, even KG teachers need to be trained. They only have JSS or JHS and SHS certificates, so they cannot handle graduates. Okay, I'm not really getting that as well. Mankata Macanti Matthew says the perpetrators must be brought to book to serve as deterrent to others. The laws of this country are not working because Ifya Poka of Adom FM also suffered same brutality some time ago, and as we speak the perpetrators are walking free. Actually, that matter was dealt with in court and the necessary reliefs were sought. Kwekua Samwa says justice from where? Okay, did you guys hear of the Palestinian journalist who was shot in the stomach? Pray for protection from God, but we will seek justice whilst we're on earth, my brother. Abod Ibrahim says, I know the guy was beaten mercilessly. What's worrying is the total silence of journalists since the incident happened. It's quite interesting. What people think that we're talking too much about Latif, other people think that we're being quiet. Anyway, those are your thoughts. Joshua Nyeweda says the media is so strong on issues. Why is it quiet about this? Do not let us begin to believe you are hypocrites. Not at all. And as you can see, a lot of people are actually thinking we're doing it too much. Kingsley Malone said this guy should go and seek justice at Nogopo. Okay. Well, the so-called systems we have in this country will never do anything about it. It is just sad. Asamoah Menu Frederick says, this small beating you cry. Do you know what CNN go through in the hands of the Taliban? Does that mean that what they go through is okay? It's not okay, and that's why we're talking about it. Rodney Brian Williams says, let us continue the silence. Why break the silence now? Interesting how everybody seems to think that there's been some sort of silence. In fact, this hashtag has been going on for quite some time. But anyway, Oscar Chimekbe says, by now, JoyNews has taken money from the government. Really? So this matter will not travel anywhere. Trust us. And as you heard that the managing editor said, we will be on this issue. We will so be on it. Michael Kankwa says, you help those who helped you. When you treat a monkey's toothache, it chops your farm maize. They are fed up and you are now down. Okay, I don't know what that means, but that's your comment. We've read it. Moses Bukari at Dayeng says, that's an unfortunate news. I wish him speedy recovery. And Moses, so do we all for Latif there. Hopefully he will be very fine, even as he has a fractured skull at the moment. But a very interesting comment, I must say. Some people think that we're making too much noise because it's one of our own. Some others think that we've been quiet over it for some time and we're now breaking the silence. Well, just so you know, and I'm saying this because I'm personally involved. This hashtag has been running for so long. Multimedia Group has petitioned the IGP just a few days after this happened, and we have been on this case and we will be on this case until we find justice.